All right. Welcome to another episode of What's Your Story? And who do we have here with us today?
Young Aries in the cut.
Young Aries in the cut. Where you from, man?
I'm originally from Georgetown, but I was born in Georgia. I lived in Myrtle Beach for a long time, so that's like the three places I was from.
All right.
For,
So I'm gonna explain to everybody why we brought you on the platform.
Okay.
You're a producer.
Mm-hmm.
I know you from a mutual friend, of course, but you, I hear your name, in the music scene around here.
Uh-huh.
You're a very well-known producer, and I just thought you would have a good story about, how it is being a producer, being that you're not a rapper. I know everybody usually wants to be the rapper all the time.
That's a fact.
So I just kind of wanted to give some insight to help other people who may want to, do what you're doing, so you can give them the real on how it really is. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I appreciate you for having me, my guy.
Hey, I appreciate you giving us your time, man. Seriously, though, for real. All right. So, first question. Okay. What song made you want to pursue music in a production, the production realm?
I'll say honestly, it's even a vlog on YouTube, but it's like Metro Boomin, Young Thug, and Travis Scott. They had a song called Skyfall, and it was just like, that was the first song that made me think like, how did these people put this shit together? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was just like the sound was very dark, like very like spacey, but it was still hard hitting. Like it had distorted 808. So I'm like, the fact that they blended all them sounds and used their voices instruments, it kind of like pushed me towards like wanting to figure out what's behind the song versus just listening,
Yeah.
And like from there, it was just like a rabbit hole, just seeing them in the studio. They had a little vlog on YouTube. Seeing them in the studio, it just sent me down a rabbit hole to want to learn how to do music.
Yeah.
For real.
Why didn't you want to be a rapper, even though, I feel like that's what most people want to be?
So I actually started as a rapper.
Okay.
I was rapping with my cousin. I started as a rapper. Like I got a couple tracks like that's unreleased. I got a couple tracks that's probably out if like people find it. But I did want to be a rapper at first, but it was just like, we go on YouTube and we getting these beats, but I know it's not my beat unless I buy it. So I'm just thinking, maybe if I made the beats, all the people that I rock with that's rapping might have it easier. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I was just looking at it when I first started.
Oh, we're a real team player.
Yeah.
Real team player type shit.
For
real. Yeah, hell yeah. That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire as hell. All right. Have you worked with any major producers since you've been doing it? And also before that, how long have you been producing as well?
So I've been producing since I've been producing since I've been like 12. So like, I just turned 24, so it's exactly 12 years from now. And then I would say like getting serious was probably like 15. So I've probably been producing almost 10 years, probably next year.
That's a long time.
10 years, for real.
You work with any other major producers?
Yeah, I did work with a bunch of major producers. It's a producer named The Martians. We didn't work together. This French rap group from France, obviously, and rapped on our beat together. My boy Chill Go Hard. He's a platinum producer. He done stuff with Street is X, Young Dolph. Like he's done a lot of beats, like kind of in that Street is X kind of camp.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think off top. My boy Reggie, he pretty big on YouTube. We worked on a lot of stuff. Trying to make sure I'm not leaving nobody out, cause I'll be in the studio a lot. I'm trying to as far as major producer though, I think that's about it. My boy Chill Go Hard, The Martians. Oh, I collab with Fuse 808 Mafia too. He the vice president of 808 Mafia, so
that's
that was like one of my very first collabs. I paid bro for the collab and everything. He was super cool though. He helped me down, push the beat and everything.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. I almost forgot about that one.
So you being a producer, what are some producers you look up to? I know you said Travis earlier.
Yeah.
And who else you said? Travis,
Metro,
Thug, and Metro.
Yeah.
But besides those two, what are some more people?
So I would say Metro, Pierre, Jetson. I rock with Jetson. Zaytoven for sure. Southside. I like Weezy too. Like he's one of my new producers. Like I feel like he been kind of solidifying his stamp in the game. Those are like my favorites. You know what I'm saying? That I draw inspiration from. Like when it's making every beat a hit. That's why I try to go for like that bounce.
Yeah.
And it's like a mixture of those people that inspired like my sound.
Gotcha.
For real.
So what's your creative process when you're making a beat?
Really, it kind of varies. Like nowadays, I use like a lot of loops just because I get sent a lot of loops. Like a lot of producers from overseas, and they send me like a lot of loops. And it's like due to my time, I don't really have like time problems, but I record, engineer as well. So it's just like it kind of helps speed up the process. But I know how to play. I don't care about like getting on the MIDI. It's kind of like a lot of producers, like if you don't cook up your melodies, you're not a real producer. But I kind of look at it both ways. It's just however you feeling that day. So like once I get the loop or cook up a melody, I just start from there. Open up my laptop, pull up the drums. But I prefer making beats in the studio though, like opposed to like cooking up at home or like in the headphones.
What's the I'm about to say, what's the difference? In your opinion, what's the difference between?
It's like more of a feeling, and then it gives you a feeling like you can just go to the next one versus like if you're doing a Bluetooth speaker at home, it's kind of like you got to perfect this beat. I feel like sometimes, and it's like in the studio, a lot of things sound better in the studio, like even songs. So it's just like I can kind of cook up. It might not be finished, but I feel comfortable going to the next one because it's like I got the sound I wanted, and I can hear it right then and there.
Gotcha. So the environment makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think it makes a big difference of like the type of beats you make too.
Yeah. So what's the biggest placement that you've had on one of your beats so far?
I definitely have to say the placement I got with Gucci. I'm trying to double check though, I got a lot of stuff coming soon, but I'll say the biggest song would have to be the song I did with Gucci. It's a song by Patman Jit. He got a feature from Gucci, and then he got a beat from me. So I'll say that's the biggest song like that I've been a part of on the producer side.
Yeah. And explain to the people also how do placements work so you guys can get credit for your beats and stuff. How does that whole process work?
So like it really just depends on the primary artist. So like you might have a feature that has a placement on it, or you might get it directly from a major artist. But it's really just depending on the artist and their label situation. But basically, they're gonna reach out to you before the song drop. They're gonna basically send you a producer agreement, and y'all kind of gotta come to terms and negotiate on that, like producer agreement. But you don't want to go too fast because, like you said, you might not get your credits or you might not get the proper copyright registry that you need as a producer. So like you kind of want to make sure you always got a lawyer and like know all the business about it. So like once you do all that and they see like you got all your business together, that's really how songs drop. Like because a lot of times as a producer, you might be sending out beats, but you don't got your business together, and that can kind of slow up your songs coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like they feel like you not too independent, but if you don't really know what you're doing and you hitting them back like asking about certain things in the contract and you don't know what you're talking about, it's gonna like they're not gonna want to work with you because they're gonna feel like you're difficult to work with. You don't know the business exactly, so definitely learn the business and like it'll get you more songs out for sure.
Gotcha. Do you have a favorite artist to work with? They don't got to be popping or anything. Just for you personally, do you have a favorite artist to work with? You know how we got dynamic duos in the music industry.
I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. I wouldn't say I got one particular artist that I enjoy working with, like more than others, because it's just like certain artists have certain traits. So like what I might like about this artist, I might also dislike like a certain part of their process. So I'm trying to think like out of everybody I work with, I don't know, I could probably give you like a top three though.
Yeah, top three, cool.
All
You
right,
don't gotta give me. You don't gotta give me just one.
I'll say. Let me think. So one is this artist from Andrews. That's in Georgetown County too. Like I support all the artists from Georgetown County because I know what it's like to be doing music from there. This is one artist named Mooch. He got super dope energy. We make good music every time. He don't always hop on my beats per se, but like sometimes he do. But like, he's one of my favorite ones to work with just because he's super creative, high energy. I'll say my boy Season. He an upcoming artist. He from Chester, South Carolina. I would say I like our process working together because we always build the beat from scratch. So that's kind of like when you listen to our music, it's all like we finished the whole product right there in the studio that day. You know what I'm saying? From the beat, the song to the mixing. So like that's one of my favorite artists to work with. And I'll probably say the third one. I'll make sure I don't leave nobody out. I probably had to give it to my guy, my guy Joshua Isaiah. He like another dope artist to work with. Like he got his vocabulary, his bars is really what stand out to me. It's like he don't really cuss in his music. He always telling a story. And like he willing to learn. He makes beats himself, but he still hops on my beats. He engineers himself, but he still rocks with me. So like it's just kind of like an open experience when I'm working with him because it's like we just keep improving. So I'll probably say that's like my top three right now.
I think I saw some of his videos.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just dropped the video on my guy Deal Visuals. So yeah, he pretty dope though.
Yeah. I like that too, trying to get some of these South Carolinas known and out there.
Yeah,
I appreciate
yeah. It's
for
definitely
real.
like home team first, bro. For sure.
What has been some challenges when learning to produce? What are some challenges you ran into as far as even as far as like equipment and stuff, learning all the stuff you had to get and different things like that?
I would definitely say equipment and then sound quality because like I wasn't really mixing my beats when I first made them, and so it's like a lot of the beats were trash. Like a rapper couldn't hop on them, and then I went through a stage of like overproducing. So like you can have too many sounds to where a rapper can't really like they might like the beat, but they can't really catch their flow or like switch their pockets and stuff like that. So I would say that like those are challenges I had to overcome, just like getting better equipment, learn how to mix my own beats. And sometimes it don't take a lot, just like EQ, compression here and there. Also like a tip, like if you're a producer, invest in the same plugins that an engineer might use because it's like an engineer told me like we got the advantage because we can if the 808 don't hit right, an engineer once it gets to the engineer, they can only do so much to the 808 because it's there, but we can choose what sounds we're using. So sound selection is like the most key, I feel like. And then like the other challenges I would say is just like learning what people want, you know? And it's I feel like that's an art, like a challenge and an art of itself, like just learning like what type of beats people gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about in this day and age the producers starting to become stars themselves now? Because I feel like when I was growing up listening to music, everybody knew the artist. No one really knew who produced the beat.
For sure.
Even though it'd be like a mega hit.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about producers getting their flowers as far as like people know who they are? People can put the face to the tags and stuff now. How do you feel about that?
I like it, bro. I love every second of it. I feel like from a from a certain standpoint, of course, the artist moved the culture and makes the music as big as it is in our genre. But I also feel like the producers play a big part because, like, there's no rapper going platinum a cappella, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, like, the beat is what brings you the vibe of the whole song. So, like, you got certain artists like Future, his production is one of his strongest suits. Like, it might not always be the most lyrical song, or he might decide to go lyrical, but his production is always top tier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the producers is really kind of carrying the needle nowadays too.
I was gonna say, in your opinion, how should I phrase this? In your opinion, who you think? I don't even know how I want to say this question. I was gonna say, who you think is most important? Even though y'all work together as far as artist and producer, who do you think is more important as far as the song? And I'm gonna say my answer first, real quick. Okay. I think it's the producer, because it's a lot of artists out here. They can get on the song and say whatever, makes no sense. But as long as that beat knocking and rocking, people gonna play it all day and rock with it.
That's a fact, though.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I feel like the producer, in my opinion, is, he holds more weight when it comes to song making. For sure. You know what I mean? How do you feel about that?
I feel like in 2024, it's definitely the producer, like, for a couple reasons. I feel like, one, like you said, as long as the beat rocking, it's kind of like, it puts you in a different type vibe. Like, even when we talk about this, I think of, like, even like Bossman D-Lo and, like, his Pot Scraper song is, like, not taking away from his talent, but I just feel like his beat selection is what's really making him stand out right now, because it's kind of different, but it's also like a catchy club type of vibe from, like, a Florida style.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like that's kind of like key. And then, like I was saying earlier, like, a rapper not going platinum a cappella, and it's like, the producers nowadays got way more access to, like, samples, sounds, and, like, crafting your sound as an artist. So it's like, I feel like that's kind of what's most important, is like having original music and crafting your sound.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna bring you to the next level as an artist. So I'm not saying like we more important, like, without us they wouldn't be nothing, but you also got like a lot of artists that might use YouTube beats or use the same beats or like the same style of beats, you know what I'm saying? So like locking in with the original producer, is I feel like that's what helps the artists kind of separate themselves and go up, you know?
Have you had any of your beats ripped from YouTube?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Actually, the Gucci Man song was a beat from YouTube too.
Oh really?
So yeah, for sure. So like, people that rip my beats plenty of times. I feel like I ain't gonna say that's what it's for, but like, producers know what they're doing when they put their beats out. They want the spread and want people to gravitate towards it, you know?
Yeah.
For sure.
What's your favorite style of beats to make?
I always say bounce. Like, that's all I'm caring about. I don't care what genre. It could be R&B. I done got into country rap now. It could be trap, dark stuff. I just care about the bounce at the end of the day. Like, as long as the 808 hitting, and I don't want it to be repetitive, but it's kind of like, I wanted it to be a pocket, like, that somebody can get in. So like, even when certain people don't catch my beats, I'll never get offended, because it's like, I know I got a beat for you that's your pocket, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I would say it's about the bounce, like, just heavy 808s. And just letting it carry the song.
So what's your biggest pet peeve when working with an artist?
Okay, I'm glad you asked me that. It's a lot of pet peeves, I ain't gonna lie. It's like, I feel like I said this on another podcast, but I feel like number one is not dropping music. It's like, nobody waiting on you. It's 2024. It's kind of like a microwave generation. It's like, we looking for something every 30 seconds. Like, we're looking for the next artist or the next joke, the next entertainment. So it's like, people got to understand, people's attention span isn't the same no more. And so it's like, I really feel like if you don't drop in 30 days, people really forget about you in a way of, like, say if you got a buzz going, like, you can have a buzz going to people like, this is the next hot thing, but it's like, if you don't drop and you don't stay consistent, they might put you back in that local rapper category, you know what I'm saying, real fast. So I feel like that's one of my pet peeves. also feel like a red flag is like artists thinking that the streets, like they're repping the streets, affect the music industry, and like I see that happen a lot. Not really in the studio, because like people like respect the engineer or the producer that they're working with, because I wouldn't say they need them, but a lot of artists like to stay with the same people and build up their team. So I wouldn't say like that's the issue. I just feel like a lot of people they don't want to network, they don't want to do no shows, they don't want to, because like the life they living. But it's like the street life don't translate into the music industry at all. Like it might get you more notoriety or more people to know about your music because like the stuff you got going on, but it don't really help you in your career. I feel like.
Yeah.
For sure. I'll say that's the biggest red flag, bro. I was just thinking about that the other day. Like artists be like, bro, how many people you shot is not gonna make me listen to your song more. At all. At all.
Do you believe that that wave of music, kind of what you said, like how many people you shot, you don't really care about that? Do you think that Chicago influenced that a lot in the music industry?
I was talking about this the other day too. I feel like it started with like Chief Keef and Dirt, but it was more like a pop culture thing. I feel like Pooh Shiesty, and it's crazy because I work with Pooh Shiesty, like that's my guy, but I feel like he kind of like influenced where it is now, to where it's like people think like you can mix the streets. I don't know how to really explain it, but I feel like the streets dude back in the day, they ain't really want to show a lot, but now people think, oh, I can get the bag by crashing out. Yeah. And it's like I feel like that's like he kind of influenced it because he was like big. I won't say he was bigger than life, but he was up, but he was still living like he was in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I seen it firsthand. Like, I don't know, bro. I feel like he just influenced. Even when you see people with the shiesties and everything on, like still to this day, like
he definitely.
I just feel like he influenced a lot in the terms of like people feel like damn, like a street nigga that now went major. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like a lot of people feel like they can do it now, but it's creating like a copy and paste. Everybody just sound the same. Like everybody just drilling on the beat as soon as the beat play. For real. About how they sliding, spinning, hopping out cars. It's just like we already done heard it though.
And in reality, from my own opinion, it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
And people don't like to say this because they be like, they always try to say it's entertainment.
Yeah.
But you do have people who get on the beat and just tell on themselves, and then they get mad at other people and be like, oh, my homies out here snitching on me, or whoever out here snitching, when you got a 3-minute song where you said every crime in detail that you've done.
That's what I'm saying.
Including murder, but you blame it other people.
I was talking to my homeboy about this the other day. Niggas swear they like, damn, bro, I've been down spending so much time in studio time, investing myself, doing videos, buying beats. I ain't getting no paid shows yet. But then you go play their song, it's like, I ain't coming to your club unless I got the stick. How the hell you gonna get booked?
Nobody wanna book you in no venue, bro.
You make it. People make themselves a liability, bro. Like you just said, you telling on yourself. It's like certain stuff isn't for social media, and certain stuff isn't for the public. Like if you living like that, you shouldn't have to prove it to nobody.
Yeah.
I feel like
it goes back to also what you said, keeping that separate.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you do on the street. Don't bring it in the studio though.
Yeah.
Because it's going to affect your money too.
For sure.
And the music, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the shows, for sure.
I'm telling you, bro, and it's like a lot of artists don't like realize they coasting at a level because they won't change like what they talking about or their vocabulary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not growing as an artist. That's what people like to see too. Like they like to grow with
you. Yeah.
I feel like.
And then back to your first pet peeve, I wanted to segue on something that you said about that, or I had a question about that.
Okay.
Do you believe, being the fact that you say, you got to put out so much music rapidly so no one forget about you and everything like that, do you believe that helps the music industry, or do you believe that hurts the music industry, the microwave music?
That's a good question though.
Because, now it's quantity over quality. Back then it was...
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
So like how deep is we talking about like the whole artist development conversation, or is it just more like you saying that that's putting out multiple music hurt your career?
Shit, we can talk about both. As far as let's start on the artist development side.
All right, so I feel like dropping more songs kind of takes away from that, and that's why we don't see a lot of unique artists these days. And it's kind of hard for like a new rapper to emerge nowadays versus like the people that's already out. I feel like that's a huge thing because it's like you got to put out songs that stay relevant, but it's like a lot of people don't study the game. I feel like so it's like they not doing the things behind the scenes, like hitting up the influencers, hitting up like the pages where the people are at. Like your audience might not necessarily be strictly like music fans, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some artists that thrive off controversy, so it's like I feel like it does affect like when you drop too much. But also I feel like from an artist development standpoint, I think artists should take their time, but it's like once you put your music out, I think it's more like staying consistent. So I do think artists should like wait and find their sound and find their lane and get other opinions besides just their friends and stuff. But at the same time, like once you put it out, you kind of just gotta go. Yeah, you never know what's gonna take off nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. I always find it funny how some people they'll make so many songs and they'll feel so strongly about certain songs and be like, oh, this is the one, like, or these are the ones that's gonna take off.
Yeah,
and it's always the one you never expect that always go through the roof.
Yeah,
almost all the time.
And
bro.
I feel like every artist, like y'all got throwaways, and it's kind of like you don't want to deprive your fan base that you already got. It's just like this might not be your favorite song, but just drop it as a single, like see what it do. If it gets some motion, like do a video to it or like revisit it. But sometimes you can just let the music out. Like I feel like when I was coming up, Chief Keef used to do this a lot. He would just drop a single every day on Spin Real. And like once they would get popular, he would full press behind them. So like Finito was one of the ones that he just dropped.
Yeah.
Just on some like, oh, I made the beat, and then that shit ended up going crazy. So it's like, then he can double back, make an official video, like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I don't even think that song got a video though. But I'm saying like you can double back and put it out officially, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can like tease your music, or like a lot of artists have like fan pages or snippet pages. Like I feel like artists need to get more into that, like building the fan base.
And this is and do you want to touch on the second one as well, as far as the volume of music that they put out? Does that help or hurt?
I think it does hurt, but I think it's like when you look at the top artists and how fast they putting out music, it's kind of like if them boys still hungry, like if Drake or Future just dropped 2 albums, if he in 2024 is still hungry enough to drop 2 albums, it's like, what do you think it's gonna take for you to damn get through the noise nowadays? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm not saying just drop hella mixtapes, but I just think you gotta find a way to stay in people's face so they don't forget about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it does hurt overall the rap genre though, because people are not looking at it as original nowadays, I feel like.
Do you believe rap is a dying genre?
No, I don't believe that. I believe rap is one of the top genres like worldwide. And I would say that because it's like it's other genres like pop and country. But we was having this conversation. I feel like country is the biggest genre, but it's kind of like the NBA compared to the NFL. It's like the NFL is bigger than the NBA, but the NFL is national. NBA is across the world. So it's like, I feel like that's the same comparison with, it's like, I don't know no Asian people ready to ride it. Well, I ain't saying they don't farm though. Yeah. So let me get that cleared up. I'm about to get canceled. But I'm saying like I don't see them listening to country music. Like they might got their own guitar and other music that they do, but they not listening to traditional American country music or like sad blues or you know what I'm saying? So like I feel like rap nowadays is globally accepted, and I just feel like it's one of the top genres, but I do feel like I don't know if they started all these beefs to like kind of boost it back up, but I do feel like it has fallen a little bit. But I think the mega stars in rap are equivalent to a pop star or a country star. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they equal in a way. And back in the day, like we was looking at the old gangster rappers, NWA, the gangster rappers, they kind of like shook it off. Like now, Playboy Cardi or Lil Uzi can be as big as a star as like any pop star. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays.
I like that analogy that you used too, the NFL and NBA.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you said that, I thought about all the videos that I see of like, you know, different cultures mimicking rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now UK rap is on the rise.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Some of them coming to America, starting careers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Even the Asian rap. You know, I see a lot of videos with the mimics on that and stuff.
Even our top rapper, he Canadian. So it's like,
facts.
Like this shit global. Like it's like I don't know. I be having these conversations with a lot of different artists like that be in other genres, and I be hearing what they saying like about the other genres. Like I feel like pop is of course the #1 genre because it's like if you Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, your music can be played anywhere. Facts. You can go on any type of tour, and I like how Taylor Swift kind of transitioned from traditional country to pop where she at now. But I feel like rap is right up there. Like, especially nowadays, like you got artists like the Migos, Drake, Juice WRLD. Like it's a lot of people that took it to that global stage. I feel like, and I feel like we just gotta. I don't know what we gotta do, bro, with the genre, but I do feel like it's definitely decreasing, but I don't think it's dying.
Gotcha.
Answer your question.
You feel like it's just on a decline, but it'll be back rising up.
Yeah,
yeah. I feel that. So we close to wrapping this up. Actually, anybody who knows me behind this camera, they know how much I can talk about music all day.
Facts.
So I'm really trying to control myself with questions. To be real, but so you know we got a tradition here, of course. Just look into that camera there, and say any motivating or inspiring words to anyone out there, or you know just anyone that's you know wants to pursue the same career that you're currently in. Anything to motivate them to you know help them push through.
I feel like stay down, enjoy your process, work with your peers, just trying to network up, because like the next star might be somebody that you always around or always working with, but you might be overlooking them because you're trying to work with the biggest artists, like work with your peers. And I just feel like sometimes when you're going through dark times, try to channel it into like some music, because that's kind of what helped me in my career. And I feel like you can turn the negative to a positive and put it into the music, and people are going to hear a difference in that sound as well.
Hey, yeah. I like that, man. I like that. And so, with that being said, that wraps up another episode of What's Your Story?
Appreciate y'all.